Well, hi there, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to yet another Musical Life show. My name is Elif, and music means harmony. Musical life means harmonious life. A harmonious life is something that is achievable by all, should you want it. I'm a classical pianist for those who are new here and don't know me. I'm a classical pianist, a Reiki Master Teacher, a healing facilitator, and longtime researcher. And to understand harmonious living, we need to understand three things: energy, vibration, and frequency. So let's get into it, shall we? We are in the last week of February. Woohoo! It's always the hardest month here in the Northeast. In New England, February is always one of the worst months. So glad that's almost over. Spring is around the corner. Hi, Ruth. And this is, new beginnings are coming. Well, new beginnings are here. So let's get going. Energy, frequency, vibration. These three things are everything from our own physical body temple to the earth and her beings to everything seemingly solid and the cosmos. Hi, Robin. Oh, so good to have you guys here. Thank you. So to get a hold of me regarding any material in this show, whether you just want to give some positive feedback or say, hey, this really resonated with me, or maybe just to say hi, you can reach me on Facebook Messenger at Musical Life 2025. That is MUSICALLIFE 2025. And my email, musicandsound2025@gmail.com. And on Substack, if you are there. Life in Harmony is the Substack. So, big things, friends, big things. And I have a little surprise later, too, for you. It's going to be fun. So the body is a living temple of vibrating molecules. And because it is made up of vibrating molecules, atoms, external frequencies can disrupt them. Just as important and valid, your internal state can also disrupt the harmony of the molecules and atoms within. And by that, I'm really specifically looking at words and thoughts. They carry a frequency, spoken or written. No different. Thoughts are things. This is why I'm a stickler about self-talk, about watching our self-talk, and we're all guilty of not being mindful of our self-talk. We are literally our own worst critics, aren't we? And those who know me watching this right now are probably laughing because they know that I can be quite critical of myself. We all can be. Words are spells, and every word we think, speak, or write casts a kind of spell on ourselves, affecting the well-being of our living temple and the energy field shield. And the energy field shield is your electromagnetic field that surrounds your physical body temple. As you know, the frequency of our living planet Earth has risen as humanity allows itself to raise its own frequency to match the Earth's risen frequency. You will notice changes of all types, subtle or large, in the world and in your personal world. There's new music coming out, for instance, that is of higher frequencies, not so much the binaural beats or, the meditation music. This is another genre. Keep your eyes and ears open for that. It is much different than the hip hop that is on the mainstream, but it is much lighter and it feels better. Another example is the use of specific sound frequencies, like that are inaudible to the human ears. These can help us to raise our frequency to match that of our living planet. Living temple hears these frequencies in its own way. The human body being composed of molecules, atoms, this is the matter, okay? And what makes the molecules and atoms appear solid is energy. Energy carries frequency, friends. And all of us vibrate frequencies internally, which then vibrate out into the world. So the right frequencies invite harmony, including homeostasis, and the wrong frequencies invite dis-ease or dissonance and disconnection. Therefore, each of us is a symphony of frequencies. So if you want to change your life and you want to change the world in some way, meaning you want to bring, more light into the world, then you need to be addressing your frequencies. And I am here to help with that shift. Living beings on this physical living plane are being nudged, and I use this word very lightly, away from corruption and unnecessary wars into a harmonious global community. If you pay attention to certain sources that are not mainstream media, you will see that this is true. Harmony is peace. Harmony is vibrant health. Harmony is prosperity. Harmony is our natural state and our divine birthright. It is oneness. But my goodness, for so long, how far we have been misled, haven't we? Into the wrong direction. But now that's going to be that's going to be behind us. We are moving very quickly and steadily from corruption to cooperation, from separation to community through unity, from buried truths to full disclosure, full accountability, and complete transparency, not just on the corporate level, not just on the higher level, the higher officials and whatnot, but on the individual level too, that we are moving into sovereignty as individuals and as nations. This is new to us, isn't it? So can you think of the last time that we were sovereign? When were we last sovereign beings on this planet? So being sovereign means taking accountability, being transparent, honesty, and making decisions for ourselves instead of being forced to consume or inject things into our bodies that are knowingly harmful. Sovereignty is also about independence. As we shift into this new earth consciousness, Notice that the language is changing. I've noticed this. For example, simply, the word peace is being said more and more, as are words like humanitarian, community. These words are not empty, friends. They are indeed filled with intention. The intention of a harmonious world. This is the future, and that future is unfolding right now. As I have mentioned before, there are currently two timelines in existence: the old way of being or the new way of being. This will not go on forever. For the end of this year, 2026, there will be but one timeline, and that is the new earth frequency. At this very moment, each of us has the conscious choice to choose one of the two timelines. It takes more consistency and courage, I think, to embrace the new earth timeline frequency than it does to continue embracing the old earth frequency. New earth frequency invites us to evolve, and in that word evolve is love. Self-love, love of country, love of creator. These are all part of evolving, because as we evolving requires reconnection, right? And enhancing that connection to the highest version of ourselves, to the source within, creator, the spark of creator that we are. So, working on that and enhancing it. None of these are egoic. None of what I mentioned is egoic. That kind of ego is of the old world frequency, where we've left that behind. There's no place for that kind of ego in the new earth. Humans are still coming around, still waking up from the long coma of the old earth. And this is why there are still two timelines existing parallel to each other. There is no time anymore to test the waters, as the saying goes. We cannot commit to both timelines simultaneously. It's either one or the other. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because take heed. Moving forward, we're going to see many businesses be actually centered around humanitarian-based models. These businesses will thrive as they are focused on actually being of service to a certain community locally or somewhere globally. Even though we've had so-called humanitarian businesses, nonprofit and for-profit, already in our world, you've seen there is so much corruption around that. It's going to be cleaned up. So moving forward, it's going to look different. And that difference is sovereignty. Again, accountability, transparency, responsibility, independence. In other words, corrupt businesses no longer have a place in our fast-changing world. And this is why massive fraud nationally and globally needs to be investigated and exposed. There is no self-serving greed at the expense of vulnerable communities and at the expense of the people, of we the people, the citizens. when there is sovereignty. So, whether it's sole proprietorship or a business with employees, for profit or nonprofit, it's all about sovereignty and benefiting the communities for the greater good. So I know some of this may seem a little redundant to those who have been following my show for some time. But sometimes we need to hear things more than once, don't we? When it comes to harmonious living, your internal vibrational state is of utmost importance. We covered this in the last episode of the Musical Life Show. This includes the mental, emotional, and spiritual. All of these affect the physical, right? And the external. For too long, we have blamed the external for our inner state of being. We're coming into a time where that's no longer going to suffice. The truth is, we're very powerful. We can transform, we can transcend anything. We are indeed limitless beings, and challenges are intended for us to remember this and to guide us to tap into our pure potentiality. Challenges are meant to guide you home to your natural state of harmony and wholeness. But in order for this to happen, we need to be able to align with that. And alignment is not about chasing. It's about becoming internally becoming a vibrational match to that which we want to see in our physical lives. And this involves your energy and your frequency. Now I'm going to, I said I have a little surprise here, and I'd love to share this with you. So just make a bookmark there. I got some new cards. Now, listen, don't judge the title, okay? Hard Truths. We'll soften the blow. It's not that bad. And I love this because when you open it up, it says, "You are the oracle." And then underneath, the cards are your companion, which means you have the power. It's all within you. And I love these. Look how pretty these are with the metallic gold. And so we're just going to do one card today. Give these a whirl. Break them in a little bit. So let's see. And what I'm going to do is pick the card. And this is really just for everybody as the collective. I'm going to pick a card. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to read it aloud. And then we're going to go at this from the perspective of vibration, energy, and frequency. Okay? Ooh, yeah, that's a hard one. Shame. Shame wraps you in a cloak of lonely silence, convincing you that your flaws define you. Expose the shame to light. Only then can you begin to heal after and alter, the course of your destiny. Shame wraps you in a cloak of lonely silence. You know, it's really interesting with this because we may think on a conscious level that there's nothing that we're ashamed of. But if you go in the subconscious, there's usually something there, something lingering. Shame lowers our frequency. If we were to look at everything as an experience and only that, and not judge ourselves for that experience, then I the shame wouldn't have a place in our world. From the perspective, energy, frequency, vibration, shame is something we want to let go of. We don't need to talk about it so much. We just need to observe it and let it go. Just send it to the light. It's just extra baggage. There's nothing that we need to really be ashamed about if we're here experiencing for our personal evolvement and the evolvement of the collective and the earth. So there's nothing really to be ashamed of. And we also tend to put shame on others, shame on you. Well, I heard that a lot of times growing up, and I'm sure you probably heard it too. That kind of judgment has no place in the new earth. And what helps me to understand this better, and perhaps it will for you too, is just imagine your loving, benevolent, sentient team of non-physical support, and how they are with you. They never shame you. I did that whole interview about addiction and recovery, sharing my own lived experience. Some of you may have watched it, some of you may not have. Doesn't matter. Never once did my team say to me, "Oh, you were just so bad. You really went down a dark path." They never expressed or put that energy towards me sent around shame ever. Their focus was just this. This is what you need to do, and we're going to help you. Imagine if we had that approach in our worlds instead of shaming for the experiences that people go through. Every experience can help us evolve if we want it to. Every experience can help us to become a brighter light, to shine brighter, to grow within. So there's really no place for shame. Okay. Should I do one more? Just for fun? Let's do one more. Why is everybody so quiet today? Let me see something here. We'll do one more card just for fun. Okay. Let's do one more. Unspoken truth. That's a good one. There are truths that need to be addressed and can no longer be avoided. Bring these to light to clear the path forward. There are truths that need to be addressed and can no longer. We cannot suppress the truth within ourselves anymore, right? Again, all of these things, avoidance and shame and suppressing our truth. These all lower our frequency and vibrational state. We're not doing ourselves any justice. So unspoken truths, we need to get in touch with those and let them out. Divine souls, we are conscious beings in the midst of a massive shift. All right, let me be honest. We're actually in the midst of a revolution. And in the word revolution is the word evolve. Okay? Rigid systems and rigid ways are dissolving. Ways and systems that served the select few, but not the many. There is so much going on around us. 2026 is a big year for massive movement globally, and we know this, but even individually. And it may seem overwhelming. So what do? We stay present. One day at a time, and if need be, one moment at a time, anchoring ourselves with our breath, singing, humming, or whistling. We naturally have these tools within us to help us navigate, to help us stay centered, to help us stay connected to our most authentic self. Yes, we are. Yes, Robin. Yep. Robin says we are in a revolution. Yes. Yep. So there is nothing that we have not been given before incarnating here. It's just that these divinely given tools have been oppressed, tucked to the back burner, made to look insignificant because of those in control. We have been made to believe false truths regarding our living physical temple, and about who we really are. And there is nothing, and I said this before, there is nothing that we cannot transform or transcend. It's our divine nature. It's in our divine nature to do so, should we choose it. That's where the power is, right? Whistle, hum, sing. These not only can get us out of fight or flight, they also can raise our vibrational state, move stagnant mental and emotional energies, and tune the living physical temples that we reside in as souls incarnate. I myself use these tools as needed and quite frequently, actually. Sound is a direct line into the nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, that is, the one that's responsible for rest and digest. Your vagus nerve responds deeply to your voice. Imagine that. And the physical body temple is really like an instrument, friends. It can become out of tune, illness, states of disease, environmental factors, and it can be retuned. Just like a piano, just like a guitar, okay, can be retuned back to its harmonious state. The body is literally an expression of sound. Start to see yourself as a vibrational being. Again, energy solidifies matter. Okay, remember, we're made up of atoms, molecules. And what makes it look solid is the energy. And when the energy changes, the matter also changes. So seeing ourselves as vibrational beings moves us away from control to coherence and moves us away from force to flow. Music, sound bowls, tuning forks are great external tools to incorporate, but your voice is the number one tool. Use it to your advantage to help you heal, to connect you to the limitless, abundant, prosperous, sovereign being that you are. You can use your voice to create anything that you want. Speak your heart's desires into reality. Yes, it's like that. In Christianity, it is said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Gospel of John. The Word is logos. It's a creative force. The word was never about actual language. It was about vibration, because we are vibrational beings. So every time we hear, each word we speak, well, that doesn't make sense. Sometimes I can't read my writing, and I shouldn't be writing, but every time we hear, each word we speak, it's interacting with the substance of our being. Okay, so when we sing, when we hum, when we listen, when we play music, when we use tuning forks, we are literally bathing our bodies in vibration. And vibration is energy. You can't destroy it. You can only transform it, shift it, change it. Now, incorporating intention into this is central. Intention is incredibly powerful. Intention shapes vibration. Write that down. Intention shapes vibration. So when we're doing these things, using our voice, humming, singing, whistling, speaking, we need to make sure that we're incorporating our heart, doing it from our heart, bringing the love into it, because intention shapes vibration, and the physical body is picking up on that, especially your inner water. And that inner water is recording it. So, yeah. Anybody have anything to say or any questions or anything so far? Laura, hi. Watching from Rumble, fantastic. Sound moves and it vibrates. In doing this, it invites the physical body to respond. So bypasses the need for talk therapy. Sound just has a way of reaching us at the soul, at the cellular level, and at the soul, without words. So start really being mindful of the self-talk, knowing that every word that we utter, even the mental self-talk, if you don't verbalize it, that every word that we think, every thought that we think, every word that we speak, okay, is literally, I'm sorry, I just completely flaked and lost my train of thought. Every word that we speak and every thought that we think carries a vibration. It carries energy, and it alters and changes our internal state of being. So no matter what's going on out there in the external world, make sure that what's going on in here is benefiting your inner state of being. So start seeing yourself as a vibrational being. And know that utilizing the tools that you have already been given naturally can change your vibration, recalibrate, retune. And as you're doing this consistently, because it does take consistency, may you remember who you are more and more. So, vibration, energy, frequency. That's it. That's really, Robin, sorry, sweetie, I just saw this. I understand and use sound and my voice to heal. Yes, use it to heal, but use it to create also. That we are co-creators. We can literally speak new worlds into existence. We can literally, using this, the imagination, visualize new worlds into existence. And this is science isn't going to be able to quantify this. So, but it is, we are that powerful. It may sound strange to some people because for so long we have been made to feel that we are powerless, right? But we are not powerless. We are incredibly powerful. Yep. So in the coming 2 weeks, until the next time we have the Musical Life Show, really start to see yourself as something more than just a physical body, that you are a vibrational being. You are energy, and that you can transform any part of yourself, which then goes out and transforms your world by addressing your energy. So when I play piano, right, and I do practice. When I feel incredibly stressed out, and sometimes I can feel that way, and when I say stressed out, I mean like overwhelmed, I go to the piano. Sometimes I sing, right? I take some of my music that has words and I sing, or sometimes I just play piano. There's something about it, and it's not just, that I have to be present in order to play, and the mindfulness and the using both hemispheres of the brain and whatnot. It's not just that. There's just something about sitting and playing piano that does something to my internal state. It calms it down. It really does. So we are indeed limitless. We are limitless in every single way possible. And I think a lot of us know this now. This is not new stuff. And it's all about alignment. No chasing. We don't need to chase anything. Align, and the right action will follow. So yes, let's work on that for the next 2 weeks. Let's work on self-talk. Let's work on, thoughts. Let's be a little bit more mindful, more conscious of this stuff. And you'll see, you'll start to notice changes within. You'll start to notice, we really are our own best friend if we want to be. And these are the things that help us to remember that. So I think that's it for today. I know it's a little short, but thank you. And the next episode of Musical Life Show will be on March 12th. And I will see you then. And I just want to let you know that I will be moving again. So hopefully my next show will be in my new place. And we'll be together there. So the light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for being here. And take care, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm grateful for you.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.